How much cash or paper currency do you currently have in your pocket? A majority of you will say very little to nothing. The digital revolution has taken us under its umbrella, catering to all our needs, including monetary management and transactions. Keeping this in mind, the RBI has introduced the E-Rupi. In a world of digital advancements, a new era of financial transaction has dawned. Introducing E-Rupi, the revolutionary digital voucher system that empowers millions of people to avail of targeted benefits and services with ease and security. Let's further discuss in depth about this digital revolution. So, what is E-Rupi? The National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI), in association with the Department of Financial Services (DFS), the National Health Authority (NHA), the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and commercial banks have developed the digital solution. The Reserve Bank of India introduced E-Rupi, which is the rupee's digital equivalent. It can be used exactly like cash, including being taken out of banks, kept in mobile wallets, and spent anywhere without relying on a bank server to handle this transaction. This new digital payment method called E-Rupi promises to make the payment process simpler. The next phase of the Digital India plan will involve this cashless and contactless payment technology. It was launched on 2nd of August 2021 by the Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi. E-Rupi is in the nature of a digital voucher that can be used by providing the unique QR code or the code number attached to it or in the form of an SMS. It is a prepaid voucher that can be used to avail of the service of the government. So, how does E-Rupi operate? Using E-Rupi is as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, the government or a sponsoring agency generates the voucher for a specific service or benefit. Second, they send the voucher to the beneficiary's mobile number. And finally, the beneficiary can redeem the voucher by showing it at the designated service provider. The beneficiary does not require a bank account like UPI because it works through a QR code and SMS-based system mechanism. And all it needs is a phone connection. It is linked to a specific purpose or service and is designed to be easy to use. For example, if the government wants to cover a particular treatment of an employee in a specified hospital, it can issue an E-Rupi voucher for the determined amount through a partner bank. The employee will receive an SMS or a QR code on his feature phone or smartphone, even mobile devices that are non-Android or iOS, and then he and she can go to the specified hospital, avail of the services, and pay through the E-Rupi voucher received on his phone. Thus, E-Rupi is a one-time contactless, cashless, voucher-based mode of payment that helps users redeem the voucher without a card, digital payments app, or internet banking access. Simply defined, it functions similarly to a coupon that may be given to partake of specified services without requiring extra verification or documentation. This system is accessible to all citizens regardless of their financial or technological literacy. The government plans to use the E-Rupi for direct benefit transfers. By giving people a prepaid voucher, the government can ensure that the voucher is put for intended use, let us say health or food. The end use now cannot be misused at any cost. Every E-Rupi voucher must be issued by a bank in collaboration with a corporate or government entity. National Payment Corporation of India has already onboarded banks that can issue E-Rupi vouchers. Apart from that, these sponsoring organizations have to provide details of their beneficiaries and their mobile number and the purpose for which the E-Rupi voucher is being created. Which bank can issue E-Rupi? 11 banks have joined the NPCI to conduct E-Rupi transactions. They are Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, Union Bank of India, Axis Bank, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Indian Bank, IndusLand Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Union Bank of India. Bharat Pay, Bheem Baroda Merchant Pay, Pine Labs, PNB Merchant Pay, and Yono SBI Merchant Pay are the acquiring apps. Soon, it's anticipated that more banks and acquiring apps would join the E-Rupi project. Government-issued E-Rupi vouchers are restricted to a maximum of Rs 1 lakh per voucher. The E-Rupi voucher may be used several times until the full value of the voucher has been redeemed, according to the central bank. How is E-Rupi different from UPI? Some important features of E-Rupi that differentiate itself from payment interface like UPI are: E-Rupi is a digital currency that is officially recognized and supported by the RBI. On the other hand, UPI is only a payment platform that facilitates monetary transactions from one bank account to another. One does not require a bank account to send or receive money in the form of E-Rupi because it is a form of digital currency or legal tender in and of itself. Additionally, unlike UPI, which stores your funds in a bank, E-Rupi is saved in your mobile wallet and transferred to the recipient's wallet when you make a payment. However, it is crucial for a person to have a bank account in order to utilize UPI to send or receive money because the UPI platform merely acts as a middleman for the transfer of money between accounts. The E-Rupi wallet is thought to have a single wallet ID for all platforms as opposed to the UPI, which allows users to receive different UPI IDs for each of their connected bank accounts or platforms. This is done to ensure uniformity and transparency. The use of UPI requires both internet connectivity and a smartphone, and the RBI has made special provisions that will enable E-Rupi transactions via SMS in light of the fact that many rural areas across the nation have limited access to internet connectivity as well as the large number of people who do not own smartphones. By gaining access to an audience that UPI has yet to reach, this will surely broaden the geographic reach and user base of the E-Rupi. E-Rupi offers complete anonymity following its bank withdrawal, resulting in better privacy when stored in mobile wallets and used for subsequent purchases. The benefits of anonymity are benefit of E-Rupi. E-Rupi does not leave a paper trail of transactional information with the partner banks or handlers like UPI, much like cash. How is E-Rupi different from digital currencies? While the introduction of E-Rupi is the first step towards having a digital currency in India, it in itself is not a digital currency but rather a social service voucher system to ensure the reach of particular benefits to the eligible beneficiaries without any discrepancies and delay. This is different from cryptocurrencies that let you buy goods and services or trade them for profit. More importantly, it is government regulated. The prepaid voucher that is paid for by the government will largely be utilized, at least initially, to provide welfare subsidies. While cryptocurrency is based on blockchain, E-Rupi is based on UPI systems. It is very similar to the gift vouchers we get online, but this time it is the government who is releasing it. This may be the government's first step in launching a digital currency. Pointing out how these vouchers cannot be converted into cash, the government is promoting liquidity in the economy. It is saying go out, buy it, spend it. Earlier, the government used to send funds into the beneficiaries' accounts which don't get used or most of the time used for some other purposes. What will be the benefit of E-Rupi? E-Rupi brings a multitude of benefits. It ensures direct benefit transfer to the intended beneficiary, eliminating intermediaries. It enhances transparency, preventing misuse and leakage. Moreover, it promotes financial inclusion, allowing those without a bank account to access services. E-Rupi uses state-of-the-art technology to ensure utmost security and privacy. The vouchers are one-time use and non-transferable, ensuring they can only be used by the intended beneficiary. As per the Government of India, E-Rupi is a revolutionary digital payment service that will ensure a leak-proof delivery of welfare services. The private sector can also leverage this method and use digital vouchers for employee welfare or corporate social responsibility. The beneficiaries or users of this payment mechanism will not need a card, a digital payments app, or internet banking access to redeem the voucher. This payment mechanism aims to close the digital divide among the unbanked people. The E-Rupi transaction method is stated to be secure and will maintain the recipient's privacy by keeping all of their information entirely secret. The launch of the COVID vaccine voucher aims to accelerate India's immunization campaign by making it simpler for recipients to schedule appointments for the doses through E-Rupi. The primary goal of E-Rupi is to reach 190 million unbanked residents, integrate them into a formal financial system, and narrow some of the digital divide. Financial, healthcare, and welfare services can all be made equally accessible to people via this digital payment method. India is completely transforming the way it provides welfare schemes to its citizens using the E-Rupi concept. The question is how? Here's how. Say Mr. Q earns 2 lakhs a year and is eligible for a ration of 1 kg of dal. So, here E-Rupi will be a prepaid QR voucher that will only be given to Mr. Q, such that only Mr. Q will avail these benefits and not his other friend or family, and he can only avail it at the ration store and not any other place. So, the QR voucher can be used by a specific person and for a specific purpose. and this will solve three problems in India. Firstly, it will cut the middlemen like government officers or NGOs that often eat away the money that the government needs to pass on to the people. So now the money will directly reach the people in need and not the corrupt officers. Secondly, it will reduce the misuse of schemes because of the QR restrictions, as in, people won't be able to buy alcohol with the money that is being given to them by the government. And lastly, the E-Rupi can be used even without a smartphone due to its offline transaction feature. This makes it usable in remote and rural areas where a large section of people may not have smartphones. The best part is that 1,600 hospitals and 11 banks have already started using E-Rupi. This brilliant innovation pioneered by India will revolutionize the direct benefit schemes. E-Rupi was created keeping in mind beneficiaries of government welfare schemes. Initially, COVID-19 vaccines are the primary service provided by E-Rupi for the distribution of government benefits. Services that E-Rupi covers are fertilizer subsidies, nutritional assistance is provided through the Child and Mother Welfare Scheme, programs for TB eradication, Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana schemes for diagnostics and drugs. These are just a handful of the currently available schemes. It is anticipated that more schemes will be covered under the E-Rupi digital payment solution in the future. The private sector can also reap the benefits of the E-Rupi. For instance, instead of giving you cash, your employer can provide you with E-Rupi vouchers to cover your travel, dining, and healthcare expenses. E-Rupi is a groundbreaking digital payment mechanism that will guarantee the delivery of welfare services without leaks. The challenges for E-Rupi. As the euphoric dust settles, practical aspects of implementation will determine the success of E-Rupi. Firstly, just like any other digital payment instrument, E-Rupi relies on a certain set of stakeholders to provide services and participate in the building of the ecosystem. While the E-Rupi is not restricted to governments and welfare programs, it will need to bank on the private sector for game-changing scales of adoption. Second, the infrastructure that underpins digital payments and a cashless or less cash economy is what makes them possible. The layers on top of the enabling environment are equally complex. We separate out infrastructure and identification in this case. Access to mobile networks and reasonably priced devices will always be required. India has made enormous strides, but the size of the task indicates that there is still much to be done to close the digital divide. It is significant to note that the metrics now available are concentrated on the total number of subscribers, and we have yet to obtain a precise measurement of unique subscribers, a figure that will be crucial for the development and adoption of tools like E-Rupi. Mobile network quality and dependability are equally as vital as access. The telecom or internet service provider will undoubtedly play a significant role, but product creators and vendors must also guarantee the instrument's operability. For instance, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India published a list of 40 organizations earlier this year that were in violation of the rules regarding mass commercial texts. A process known as SMS scrubbing compares delivered SMSs and one-time passwords to registered templates. Several organizations, including well-known banks, were not adhering to this procedure. The identity ecosystem needs to be looked at from another aspect. Since an E-Rupi's point of action is a beneficiary's mobile number, it will rely on already in-use tools for identification and verification. Although not confirmed, it has been speculated that Aadhaar-linked cell phone numbers will be used to identify recipients. No one can dispute the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity's success in India, but it would be short-sighted to ignore the ongoing issues of incorrect inclusion and the painful exclusion of the most disadvantaged people due to institutional and infrastructure gaps. It is rare for the introduction of new technologically based welfare tools alone to address these issues, although E-Rupi is likely to make the gaps more obvious unless steps are taken to create an enabling environment. It may never be able to achieve its inclusion objectives. Finally, we need to put a lot of effort into promoting digital literacy in order to encourage the safe and inclusive usage of new tools like E-Rupi. Even the expansion of UPI payments was accomplished by a rash of frauds that preyed on unsuspecting customers by utilizing the QR codes and other technologies. Some of these hazards may be reduced by using E-Rupi, although it is still susceptible to manipulation by those without much experience. The drive for digital literacy must concentrate on creating a culture of privacy, safeguarding personal data, and instructing beneficiaries in the safe and secure use of digital tools. Additionally, all ecosystem stakeholders will need to work together more closely in this area. The inclusion objectives that E-Rupi has set for itself will be more easily attained by reaching out to the marginalized and underprivileged groups through targeted initiatives. Given the ecosystem's current problems, E-Rupi may not be a game changer, but it is unquestionably an improvement. Its success is dependent on a supportive atmosphere and advantageous conditions which will eventually bring India closer to the digital frontier. What lies ahead for E-Rupi? RBI broadens the use of E-Rupi digital vouchers, enabling non-banking prepaid payment instrument providers to issue them. At the moment, banks issue purpose-specific vouchers on behalf of the federal, state, and to a lesser extent, corporate governments. It is suggested to broaden the use and reach of E-Rupi vouchers by allowing non-bank prepaid payment instrument issuers to issue E-Rupi vouchers and authorizing issuance of E-Rupi vouchers on behalf of persons, keeping in mind the benefits for users and beneficiaries alike. To make using E-Rupi vouchers easier, additional factors like reloading coupons, the authentication process, issuance restrictions, etc. will also be changed. E-Rupi has now been formalized as a prepaid instrument. It will facilitate non-bank PPI issuers, individuals and corporates to utilize it for various programs. It will make the benefits of the E-Rupi accessible to a wider set of users and further deepen the penetration of digital payments. Picture a token delivered in the form of an entitlement capable of reimbursing bills or covering medical treatments for end users. We believe that E-Rupi can also ensure the desired end use of donations, whether it is toward medical purposes or other forms of assistance for beneficiaries. The accessibility and usage of this indigenous digital currency have been considerably improved by the expansion of E-Rupi vouchers to allow non-bank prepaid payment instrument issuers and the capability to issue vouchers on behalf of individuals. This expansion is expected to provide a wide range of opportunities and advantages for both users and recipients. Without requiring a bank account, E-Rupi, a unique digital payment system, provides convenient and accessible transactions. The possibilities with E-Rupi are limitless. From healthcare services to education, transportation, and more, E-Rupi is set to transform the way we access and avail of benefits in our daily lives. We can conclude that the E-Rupi digital payment solution is a prudent government initiative that offers many opportunities for success to the receivers. In India, a sizable portion of the population lacks access to banking services, but with the implementation of E-Rupi, all of these citizens will be able to benefit financially from all of the government's programs in the areas of health, medications, fertilizers, child welfare, subsidiaries, and other things. The US, South Korea, and several other countries have used similar voucher-based incentives for welfare services. Few states in the US have implemented a digital voucher-based system for educational institutions to create targeted delivery structures, but no country has implemented an e-voucher system on a massive scale in the past. E-Rupi is one of the government's attempts, and the successful deployment of E-Rupi can boost India's GDP by 14%, which sounds very promising for a better future of the Indian economy. The introduction of E-Rupi may serve to highlight the infrastructure gaps in digital payments that must be filled for the future digital currency to flourish. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.